Welcome to Agora Nexus with Atabai, where knowledge and awareness converge. Wisdom begins with curiosity. The unexamined life is not worth living.
Ever looked around your home and thought, could this be smarter? Automated lights, thermostats that learn your routine, maybe even a fridge that helps with the grocery list. The promise of a smart home is really appealing. But then maybe there's that little voice whispering, what about my privacy? What's really happening with all that data? It's a genuine tension, isn't it? Today, we're diving deep into exactly that intersection. The convenience of smart home tech, the crucial need for personal privacy, and some really cutting-edge security ideas that could, well, change things quite a bit.
Yeah, and for this deep dive, we've got some great source material. We're looking at a detailed academic paper. It's called GDPR Personal Privacy Security Mechanism for Smart Home System. Plus, we've mixed in some insights from industry reports and, I think really importantly, very lively Reddit discussion, where people are really getting into their actual concerns about these devices.
Right. So our mission today is pretty clear. Let's unpack the real privacy issues, explore how this proposed new system could tackle them, using powerful tools like GDPR and some clever security tech, and hopefully give you a clearer picture of whether those privacy worries are, well, maybe just paranoia, or if there's actually solid ground to stand on. Okay, let's get into it. So, the Internet of Things, IoT, it's just everywhere now, isn't it? It's not just factories anymore. It's woven into our lives, smart bulbs, robot vacuums, those refrigerators that track what's inside, and it promises amazing convenience like controlling your home appliances from your phone. Makes life easier, maybe saves money. It's huge, potentially trillions for the global economy.
It sounds fantastic, yeah. But here's where it gets really interesting. When you get a new IoT gadget, you almost always get hit with a privacy consent form. Now, let's be real. Who actually reads all that? All those pages of legal text?
Nobody. You just click agree, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just click agree to get the thing working. The problem is that often means personal info, like your username, IP address, how long you use it, sometimes even more sensitive stuff like religious beliefs. It gets recorded, maybe without you fully realizing it. And that just opens the door wide for potential data misuse.
And it's not just what they collect, it's also how they operate, isn't it? So many smart home products kind of trap you in their own app, their own little walled garden. You buy a bulb from brand A, you need their app. A smart plug from brand B, that's another app. It really limits your choices.
Absolutely. It's a huge frustration people feel being constrained, not able to mix and match. And it often means people just don't use this stuff as much because it's too much hassle.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And people are genuinely worried. We saw this all over the Reddit threads. Real concerns about data theft, about devices being controlled maliciously. Some people were debating, is privacy already gone? If Google and Apple know everything from your phone, does the smart light even matter?
Right, the privacy is dead anyway argument.
Yeah. But others had this really deep fear, like one user put it, about devices phoning home to their Chinese masters. Or another pointed out a real case where a Philips Hue bridge, which is basically a little computer running Linux, got hacked. And that could potentially expose someone's whole home network.
Wow, so you've got this amazing convenience, even real savings, that Reddit user cutting their hot water bill by 50% using smart tech and off-peak rates. That's powerful. But then, yeah, this very real fear of data exposure, losing control, and your network being vulnerable, it's a real conflict.
And there's a big technical issue underneath a lot of this.
Yeah.
Many smart home devices, well, they just don't get regular software updates after you buy them. So security holes just stay open, making them easy targets. It's a fundamental flaw many users just don't even know about.
Okay, so this deep dive brings in a potential solution that leans heavily on the General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR, which, as you probably know, is seen globally as maybe the toughest data protection law out there. And importantly, it doesn't just apply in the EU. It hits any company, anywhere, that deals with data from EU citizens. So its reach is massive.
Exactly. And that reach is why it's so relevant for smart homes. This proposed system we're looking at, it builds several key GDPR ideas right into its design. Privacy isn't an add-on, it's core, like informed consent. GDPR demands clear, positive action for consent. No more confusing language or pre-checked boxes trying to trick you. This system makes sure you know exactly what data is being used and why before you agree.
That feels like a really big shift. No more hiding things in the fine print.
Totally. Then there's pseudonymization, basically masking your identity in the data. So for your smart home, instead of your actual name or some direct ID being sent, the system swaps it for a preferred, non-identifiable name for your devices. Even if data gets stolen, it's way harder for hackers to link it directly back to you personally.
Ah, okay. Like putting a size on your data streams. Smart. What about just collecting less data in the first place? That seems crucial.
It absolutely is. And this system really focuses on that with the principle of minimum data collection. This is huge. The system only collects what's strictly necessary, like is the device on or off, when was it used, its serial number, its name. But crucially, it specifically avoids grabbing your email, your exact location, personal preferences, full username, ID numbers, credit card details. That drastically shrinks the amount of sensitive info that could be exposed.
That's definitely a relief, thinking about all that sensitive info just floating around. And what about kids? Protecting children's data is always a big concern.
Addressed directly. Conditions for child's consent. If a user is under 16 or 13 in some places in the EU, they need consent from a legal guardian. The system is built to ask the user's age when setting up an account. If they're under 16, it then asks for a legal representative's email to get that authorization. So there's parental oversight.
Okay, good. And once data is collected, even minimized data, do you still have control? Can you, actually delete it?
Yes, absolutely. That's the right to erasure or the right to be forgotten. You have the power to delete your device history whenever you want. The system even adds an extra check, like needing a password, just to make sure you don't delete things by accident. It really puts you in the driver's seat for your data history. And it even includes the right to object. You can refuse certain types of data collection, like whether it records historical status info, giving you more specific choices than the usual take it all or leave it.
So for someone listening, how does this proactive approach actually feel different day to day? Like setting up a new smart light bulb, what changes?
Well, imagine getting that new bulb. Instead of just blindly hitting agree, this system would pop up something clear like, this light needs to know its on-off status and usage times for automations. We won't collect location or preferences.
Mhm.
You get a clear yes/no choice. And later, you can easily go into settings and wipe the usage history for that specific light. It's about giving you the control, which is a major change from how things often are now.
Okay, so moving beyond privacy for a sec, let's talk compatibility. This is probably one of the biggest headaches, right? Different brands just don't play nicely together. You get locked into these separate ecosystems. A lock from one company, lights from another, thermostat from a third. Suddenly you're juggling three apps. Nothing really works together smoothly.
Oh yeah, I've definitely been there. Trying to get my brand X bulbs to trigger my brand Y plugs.
Yeah.
It's usually more trouble than it's worth. Is it the kind of thing this system tackles? It's exactly that frustration. The deep dive highlights this idea of a unified device data format protocol. Think of it like a universal translator for your house. Basically, a little device, maybe something cheap, like an ESP32 microcontroller, they call it a smart housekeeper, sits on your network. Its job is to take the data from all these different brands and translate it into one standard format that everything can understand.
Okay, that sounds like the real promise of a smart home. Your Philips Hue lights could actually coordinate with your Ecobee thermostat to save energy based on whether you're home without you needing two different apps.
Precisely. That's the power. True automation, not just isolated gadgets. It means you could have that light from brand A and a fan from brand B actually communicating, sharing info, working together in routines without needing separate cloud accounts or apps for everything. It hits that user pain point of being constrained by the brand right on the head. Remember that stat. Survey data showed something like 97% of people would be more willing to try smart appliances if they were compatible across brands using a unified standard.
97%, that's almost everyone.
It's huge. A system like this could really boost adoption and make smart homes actually, smart.
Okay, so we've got privacy handled better and compatibility sorted. What about the third piece? Security. How does this make sure devices are communicating securely and aren't being hijacked?
Right. Security is absolutely critical. And this system uses a pretty clever consensus mechanism to verify device control. It's actually inspired by a classic computer science problem. Basically, it's a way for your devices to kind of check each other's stories to make sure everyone's being honest, even if one device has been compromised by a hacker, like a built-in lie detector for your network.
A lie detector for my smart lights. Okay, now that's interesting. How does that work in practice?
So when you do something, say turn on a smart light using your app, two things happen. Your phone, or whatever you used, sends a log file. And the light itself also sends a log file. These logs go out to other trusted devices on your home network. They contain key details, the device's unique MSE address, what changed, like status.on, and the exact time. Now imagine a hacker gets in and turns on that same light. The log file from the light might say status.on at time X.
Hmm.
But there's no matching log from your phone or control device saying you authorized it.
And the other devices see the mismatch.
Exactly. If there's an inconsistency, if the logs don't match up, the system immediately flags it. It knows the device was controlled by an unintentional person, a hacker. This gives you real-time detection of unauthorized activity. A heads up that something fishy is going on. It's a really proactive security layer. And let's tie this back to what people actually want. Remember those surveys?
Yeah, the high percentages.
Right. Roughly 90% of people said they could accept smart appliances if they followed GDPR rules. Combine that with the 97% wanting unified standards, it really shows a clear demand for this kind of approach.
And thinking back to that Reddit discussion, this system seems to directly answer a lot of those worries. For people feeling like privacy is already lost because of smartphones, well, this offers a way to claw some of that control back with real user controls and less data collection in the first place. It's not just giving up.
Definitely. And, the Reddit folks talks about things like putting IoT devices on separate networks, turning off mics, covering cameras, deleting recordings, favoring open source.
Yeah.
This proposed system naturally supports a lot of that. Data deletion is built in. Pseudonymization helps protect identity. User control over data is central. It kind of brings those best practices into a ready-made system.
So wrapping this up, we've really dug into how smart homes could be designed differently, not just for convenience, but with privacy and security built right in from the start. We've seen how GDPR principles, unified standards, letting devices talk to each other, and these clever consensus checks can give you, the user, much more control over your data and your connected home.
Yeah, the core idea here is that you shouldn't have to choose between the benefits of smart tech and your peace of mind. It's possible to have both, but only if privacy and security are treated as fundamental design requirements, not optional extras tacked on later.
So as our homes get smarter and these ideas hopefully spread, it makes you wonder what other parts of our lives could benefit from this kind of thinking. From better data protection, from systems that can reach a consensus about security, what else could that Byzantine general's problem help secure beyond just our smart lights and thermostats? Definitely something to think about until our next deep dive.
If you enjoyed this podcast, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss any episode. Your support means the world to us.